Welcome to another episode of the Celica with the beam swap. Got good news. I sold both my spare transmissions, so I got some extra cash, bought some parts, and the engine is installed with custom fabricated mounts for the engine and transmission, and we made them adjustable. They just sit on the standard mounts itself. I'm also going to throw a big shout out to some guys who helped me out. SAXAJDM, I'm going to include their link at the bottom of the description, but they just sent me a bunch of parts. Look at this here. Timing belt, bearings, you name it here. I got hoses, seals, some other stuff I picked up, some POR 15. And if you guys are looking for the new part number on the oil filters, this is directly from the Toyota dealership. The original ones were replaced with this part number. So that's that. Iridium spark plugs for the engine. These little bits and pieces here, I just figured I'd put on the stock stuff. Hoses. I picked up SAXAJDM sent me a bunch of factory Toyota stuff where possible. Some of the bearings are no longer available. However, they provided high quality Japanese bearings and all the other stuff. This is factory Toyota, the tensioners, another idler, and I decided to go with the factory belt as opposed to the HKS belt. I've also been able to source ZD clutch and pressure plate, some bearings here, throw-up bearing and pilot bearing, and this other parts here are not also got a TRD transmission mount, brand new water pump, ASIN, and this is actually a factory Toyota casting. If you look really close here, the Toyota is actually ground off, but this is the identical casting to what was on here. It is a Toyota part. So I got that, and yeah, so I'm pretty happy about that. Waiting on my flywheel to come. I went with a spec flywheel, and the reason I went with a spec flywheel was because it has a replaceable face on it. So that's probably a month out right now, so waiting for that. But other than that, let's have a look at the fitment. So as it sits right now, there's the custom engine mounts. They are sitting on the factory brackets. Haven't painted them or anything at this point yet. We're just still test fitting. The engine sits nice and low, so it clears everything. I'll still have access to my heater core. However, installing the heater core, I ended up snapping the line off, so I'm going to have that repaired at some point here. But that's just another thing in the puzzle now. If you look at the front here, you'll notice that there's no sway bar. This is a sway bar mount right there. That's a hole for it. This engine basically interferes with it. I had taken measurements before I even began this, and I figured it would be close to fitting. But now that I've got this far, it ain't gonna fit, especially with the way this engine sits and in this chassis. So there's a sway bar. Had it removed. What I'm gonna do is probably ended up cutting it right here and here, and having a piece made up. My fabricator buddy can look after that. He's also the same guy who made these mounts. So have a look at that. They look pretty good. Very strong, very sturdy. I'm very happy with them. The engine is sitting slightly, my reading came out at about 1 degree, 2 degrees off, but it's fine. It's in good nick here. Not only that, but she clears the hood. She'll have enough room to close the hood, and that was one of the important things. So apparently this car had an automatic transmission tunnel in it when I got it. I had no idea until we opened it up. So I had to trim around it so we can fit this. Now I'm going to go with the JSP shifter mount here, but there's plenty of room for it now, as you can see. That's how it sits. Lots of room down here too, so I can get the shifter in. Actually, it's just enough room, not lots of room, just enough room. And there's my hydraulic handbrake there, in case anybody's wondering. And I'm going to take you under the car here to have a look at the rest. So there's your transmission mount. She's actually sitting pretty good. She's a couple degrees off, not too much for the dry shaft lineup, but overall, I am very happy with how that worked out. So, as you can see, sorry, I don't have a lift here, so I'm working on the floor. So it's not the best angles I can give you, but it shows you what's available. So that's that. The dry shaft still works. However, I'm gonna have to put about an inch spacer in it so everything lines up again. So yeah, that's a really shitty photo. I can't really do much about this, but yeah, that's that. Now I also want to show this portion of it here, so you can see there is how much room there is between the transmission and bell housing. I had to shave that because there's no other way to get this to sit properly. So yes, that is working out nicely. I am getting ready to mount everything and pull it all apart again. So we'll just keep. So if you need parts, you're looking for beams parts, A86, 101s, 2J, 1J, you name it for the Toyotas and Nissans and Mitsubishis, give SAXAJDM a call or email them. They get back to me right away within 10 minutes every time I sent them a message. They were more than happy to get whatever I needed. They sent it down. Had no issues with them whatsoever. I highly recommend you guys give them a try. Again, that link is going to be included in the description there, so please click on that and talk to them and they will get right back to you. But I just want to say a big thank you to those gentlemen there for helping me out. So now, in case anybody's wondering, I'm going to give you some measurements just to see where the engine sits. In case you guys want a set of mounts, I am going to give you some measurements, and send me a message if you want to, because I'm going to have a small batch made up, and if anybody wants them, we'll talk about a price and put them on there for sale. But basically, from shock tower to shock tower, right in the center, you're looking at approximately, to the center of the valve cover, approximately 17.25 inches, or 44.5 centimeters, or 44.5 centimeters. So the back from the firewall, it's not bad at all. Got about 3 inches of space there, so works out really nicely. You got lots of room in the transmission tunnel for a shifter. It will require a remount on it. I don't recommend cutting any more of the tunnel because there's fuel lines and brake lines that run right on the top, and unless you want to move all that stuff, I don't recommend it. But if you do, have at it. I haven't had to pound anything with a hammer, so that's been good so far. It's been really easy. Well, I'm not going to say it's been easy. It's been trying at times to get this thing to sit properly. It took me about a week to get it to sit properly where I wanted it. Again, the sway bar is a no-go with this motor because of the big front sump and big front, just the whole piece of the sump assembly, the oil pump, everything. It's just, there's no way the standard sway bar will work. So the sway bar is going to get modified on this car here. Just a question of when, and when I get time to do it or have my fabricator look into it. But yeah, no, I'm very happy with the fitment. Yeah, that's basically all I could say. Now, so I just want to touch base right now on the factory beams clutch. This is the original factory beams clutch. Still has the TAQ stamp on it. Still a lot of meat on this one left. This is how it comes from the factory. This is the pressure plate from the factory. These are the replacements for it. The only difference is this opening is small. This opening is smaller on the Zeddy one. This is a Japanese-made Zeddy. This is a Japanese-made tack clutch cover here. Actually, I don't know who makes it. I'm pretty sure Asian probably makes it. It's got to be Asian because they make all the Toyota stuff. Whatever. This is the clutch disc. Clutch disc for the Zeddy is identical. So the part numbers I was able to find on these things here was a complete set for a 93 to 95 Toyota pickup, two-wheel drive, 22 RE. Same setup completely. I'll provide the part numbers there. You can find it wherever you want to, but they are identical. Widths, dimensions, everything on these. The only difference is this one has a smaller opening, this one has a larger opening. However, clamping force is the same, if not more, on the ZD clutch. Looked up all the specs on these things. I can't remember them off the top of my head, but they are identical. So the only thing I can really suggest is you take some measurements, and you can find them online. They give it to you, and look it over. You'll see that this is the proper clutch for the vehicle. It also fits onto the factory flywheel. So here is the factory flywheel in all its ridiculousness, 29 pounds. It's going to be replaced with a spec 11-pound flywheel with a replaceable face on it. Again, ZD clutch disc and the pressure plate. Drops right on there. All the dimensions and the grip area is identical. So I matched it up with the factory stuff and it works perfectly fine. So highly recommend this product here. And worst case, if it doesn't work, I got a spec set up here. I have no doubts this won't. I have no doubts in my mind about this setup completely. This will be perfect. So with respect to the next episode, when I get time, engine comes out. It's going to get put back on the sand. We're going to start cleaning it up, disassembling it, and reassembling it with all the new bits and pieces together. Paint the block, make it all nice and neat there. Engine mounts are going to come out. Transmission mount's going to come out because now I've verified everything fits correctly. No tweaks are necessary because I welded everything in place with the dummy mounts first. And yeah, he made a really good set, fabricated set there. He's going to make, we'll see how many people want these sets of mounts here. Sorry, can't get a better picture of the mount on the transmission because, well, I don't have a lift. I'm working on my back here. And so if you guys want a set, let me know. Hit me up and I'll send you what the price is. And he'll have them fabricated up there. Luckily, it's not me doing the fabricating because I suck at welding. So yeah, we'll go from there, and till next time,